Hi, I'm Christina, and this is a book review of The Last Policeman by Ben H. Winters. Now, this is a science fiction novel and it was published in 2012. I would say this is post-apocalyptic fiction, but it is actually more specifically pre-apocalyptic fiction. Our main character is called Detective Henry Palace, and he is at a crime scene. The date is Tuesday the 20th of March, and the year is unknown. So at this crime scene, a man has killed himself in the bathroom of a McDonald's. Now, in 6 months and 11 days, a 6.5 kilometre diameter asteroid will hit Earth. They know the date of impact, it is the 3rd of October, but they don't know where it will hit. But they know 100% that it will hit the Earth and it will be catastrophic and life-changing for everyone. Our main character works at Concord Police Department and he has been promoted rather recently to become a detective, and that's because the end of the world is approaching and people are leaving their jobs in droves, so he is quickly promoted so he can fill a space of another detective who has decided to leave. Now, he is at this crime scene in the bathroom of the McDonald's and everybody else there thinks that it is a suicide, but he thinks that it's murder. He goes back to the police station and all of the people he works with also think that it is suicide, but he is sure that it is murder. So he decides to investigate this death as a murder investigation, and we follow him throughout this investigation. And I have to say, I found it quite disappointing and underwhelming, and I was also really surprised that I felt that way. This on paper is absolutely my cup of tea. It's definitely my kind of book. The idea that we have a set date for the end of the world, it's in 6 months' time, and not only do the governments know this, do people know this, every single person in the world knows this, and to know what could happen in those remaining 6 months is such an interesting concept, such an interesting premise, and the idea that we have a man who, to the best of his ability, is going to continue to work as a police detective and to continue investigating a death that he considered to be murder. Such an interesting concept, and I thought the execution of it was actually really poor. I think this could have been such an exciting story, and the stakes are so high. The world is going to end in 6 months' time, and yet it just felt boring and dull, and I just wasn't really that interested. Honestly, I didn't really like the main character. I did find him quite dull. I found him quite boring. I found him kind of, I don't know, two-dimensional. He was just kind of a bit boring, honestly. There wasn't really a lot going on about him. I didn't find him particularly engaging at all. And then all of the other characters in the story, I wasn't connected to any of those people. Even the man who might have been murdered or he might have committed suicide, I didn't find him particularly interesting. In terms of the actual investigation about what happened to him, I didn't find that particularly interesting either. And I think ultimately this could have been such an interesting story. There is so much you could have done with the world is ending in 6 months' time and we have a man here who is going to continue investigating crimes, and all the kind of deeper questions like philosophical questions and moral questions, as you know, if the world is going to end in 6 months' time, is trying to prosecute people for crimes, is it even reasonable? Is it feasible? Does it matter if people are going to kill each other now, if everybody will die in 6 months? Like all of these big questions, the idea of even if you found out who did do this, you're not going to be able to prosecute them? Are we thinking that law and order is going to continue for the final 6 months? Is it going to be possible to, do a proper investigation and then send them to prison, give them a trial? It's all of these big questions, and just kind of the overriding question of is if everyone's going to die in 6 months' time, does any of this really matter now? And it could have been very interesting, and there's so many different things you could have explored, and I just found it really boring. And I kind of wish I'd DNF'd this book. It was dull. I just thought it might go somewhere. It had such a great concept, such a brilliant premise. And I thought, yeah, this might do something exciting, even though I didn't really like the characters and wasn't particularly interested in the investigation. And it didn't really do all that much, to be honest. We answer the question of, did he kill himself or did somebody murder him, and the whys and the whats and stuff, but I didn't really find it particularly satisfying. I didn't particularly care all that much, to be honest, about that investigation. It was fine. It was underwhelming. It was disappointing. I didn't really care. I probably should have just put this book down, to be honest. I'm definitely not going to continue with the series. There's also a kind of side story that involves his sister and her husband, and the idea that it might not be the end of the world and people might be living on the moon, and kind of conspiracy theories. And I wasn't particularly interested in the side story either. So the main story about what happens with this man is fully explored and dealt with in this story, but kind of the side stories and things that will continue on into the further novels. This is a trilogy. But yeah, I didn't even really care about that either. So I'm definitely not going to continue on with this. I didn't enjoy it. I was actually really disappointed, and I'm actually really surprised that it kind of won the prizes and why it was so popular, because I'm not really sure. I can't really see what was so great about this. Maybe in 2012 it did feel better, maybe because there was fewer of these novels and maybe I hadn't read so many. Maybe if I'd read this 13 years ago I would have enjoyed it more, possibly. But honestly, reading it today, I didn't really like it at all, and I didn't think it really did anything. It didn't really do anything new for me, and I wasn't connected to the characters. I didn't really care about the investigation. And I'm really surprised that a book about the world will end in 6 months' time, I'm so surprised it could be this dull and this boring. So yeah, overall, I didn't like this one. It was a 2-star read. I probably should have DNF'd it. There were so many really, really good books in this genre, and this was just dull and boring, and I didn't care really about the people or anything that happened at all. So yeah, didn't like this one. Yeah, not going to continue with the series. If you have read this book, I would love to know what you thought of it down in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't. People seem to generally really like this story. It seems to be quite popular and has good ratings. It didn't work for me. Just not my cup of tea, which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to this. And I thought it was going to be absolutely the kind of things that I love in a book, and it was just underwhelming and disappointing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have liked this video, please do like it, and if you'd like to hear more of me talking about books, please do subscribe. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.